Floor. Quiet on the floor, please. Quiet on the floor, please. Quiet on the floor. At this time, please place all electronic devices to vibrate. Mr. Majority Leader.
Good afternoon and welcome to the stated meeting of March 16, 2023. I'm Majority Leader Keith Powers. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. If you'd like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on the website.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Roll call.
Abreu.
Present.
Ariola. Aviles.
Presente.
Ayala.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Botcher.
Present.
Brannan. Brewer. Brooks Powers.
Present.
Caban.
Present.
Carr.
Present.
De La Rosa.
Here.
Dinowitz.
Here.
Farias.
Present.
Felice.
Presente.
Gennaro. Gutierrez.
Presente.
Hanif.
Here.
Hanks.
Present.
Holden.
Here.
Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Kagan.
Present.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Marte.
Here.
Mealy. Menon.
Here.
Moya. Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse.
Present.
Osei.
Present.
Palladino. Wrestler.
Here.
Richardson Jordan.
Present.
Gennaro. Riley.
Present.
Rivera. Salamanca.
Present.
Sanchez.
Present.
Thank you. Schulman.
Here.
Stevens.
Present.
Ung.
Present.
Velazquez.
Here.
Vernikoff. Williams.
Here.
Juan.
Present.
Yeager. Here. Borelli.
Present.
Powers.
Here.
Speaker Adams.
Present.
Thank you. We'll now have today's invocation delivered by Monsignor Kevin Sullivan of the Church of Our Savior, located at 59 Park Avenue in Manhattan in a fantastic city council district.
So let's begin by bowing our heads and praying. Almighty Heavenly God, you've created us, and you walk with us on this earthly journey. This afternoon, we give you thanks for the wonderful people who work hard for our city, those here present, those elected, those appointed. Watch over them, protect them. We ask you to watch over this great city, and we need your help. Even though there are darknesses that confront us, may your light guide us. And unfortunately, the ugliness that too much mars the beauty of your creation. May you be gracious, and your graciousness shield us from the scars of divisiveness that afflict us. May your presence heal us. May the hate that too often spews forth from our unsocial media be overcome by your love. Almighty God, we are in a season in which our great religions reflect and recommend the best of our values and beliefs. For Christians, we're in the midst of the 40 days of Lent. Muslims, in a week, will begin the holy time of Ramadan, and then shortly thereafter, Jews will celebrate Passover. May these holy seasons not divide us one from another, but unite us together for the common work of watching out especially for the poorest and most vulnerable among us. And Almighty God, we know that there are many who draw their inspiration not from you, but from other spiritual realities that are part of them. We know that even though they may not express belief in you, they are made in your image and likeness. And so may we respect their spirituality and their beliefs also. And as we think about the great issues that confront us as this city, help us to focus even more clearly. And we ask that no one be hungry, that all may have a decent place to live, that our air and water be clean and healthy, our children well educated, our families so diverse, may they be strong and loving, and may decent jobs be available to all. And so help us this day to create a just society. We promise that we will work hard, but we know the challenges need your infinite power. And so we give you thanks this afternoon, and we will do so tomorrow, and we do so forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, and I want to say a few words, and I'll spread the invocation. I want to thank Monsignor Sullivan for being here today, especially during the Easter season, and of course in front of, right before our fantastic holiday of St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. I think I speak for many of us when I say Monsignor Sullivan has been a fantastic partner and a fantastic religious leader here in the city, and I want to thank him for his service. I also would be remiss to not mention that as a constituent of mine, Monsignor Sullivan has also helped with constituent issues in my district as well, and has been a fantastic partner in that right as well. And with that, I want to spread the invocation on the record and thank him and thank Joe Rowe as well for being here with us as always, and thank you to him, the Cardinal, and everyone for everything they do for the city of New York. We're now going to have the adoption of the minutes by Councilmember Julie Wan.
I make the motion that the minutes of the stated meeting of February 16, 2023 be adopted as printed.
Thank you. We'll now go to messages and papers from the mayor.
Pre-considered M's 130 through 133, Board of Health appointments.
Rules, privileges, and elections.
Communication from city, county, and borough offices.
M's 134 and 135, Controller reports.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
M 136, Elections Commissioner appointment.
Rules, privileges, and elections.
We'll have petitions and communications,
None.
land use call-ups.
None.
Thank you. We'll have communication from Speaker Adrienne Adams.
Thank you, Majority Leader, and good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to remember the lives of several New Yorkers who died while in the workplace. This week, we're sending our love to the family of Felix Thomas Bontilla, a 47-year-old car wash worker who was killed in a hit and run while on the job in Councilmember Stevens' district in the Bronx. Sung Choi, a deli worker who was killed during a robbery on the Upper East Side in Councilmember Menin's district, and a construction worker who died after a construction wall collapse at a demolition site in Soho in Councilmember Marte's district. Our hearts are with them and their loved ones and communities during this very difficult time. All New Yorkers deserve to be safe, and our vision of safety for our city must include closing Rikers Island. Rikers is undermining public safety in New York City by worsening mental health conditions and leaving people worse off after being there. It exposes everyone there, both staff and people detained, to violence and trauma that maintains cycles of harm rather than interrupting them. With over half of those detained diagnosed with a mental health issue, Rikers has become a de facto mental health facility, which exacerbates the existing challenges for people to successfully re-enter their communities. The law is clear that the city must close Rikers and transition to borough-based jails by 2027. The inconsistent statements from the administration over the past days have unacceptably created questions where there should be none. Rikers must close by 2027, and we cannot allow it to continue undermining public safety across our city. There are tangible and active steps that the administration should take to ensure we move forward in a timely fashion. The success of transforming our jail system to one that promotes safety and successfully outcomes requires collective action. The city must address mental health with the appropriate responses that divert people from the jail system to get the treatment that helps them succeed. We also must bolster pretrial and alternative to incarceration programs that help reduce recidivism. We can stop the revolving door and improve public safety through these proven solutions. Reentry programs also have to be a priority to help New Yorkers successfully return to communities with job opportunities, supportive housing, and other resources that remove barriers to stability for people. We know that opening pathways to economic opportunity and self-sufficiency are critical. Success will require the courts and all stakeholders in the legal process to utilize these programs and eliminate case delays that are keeping people in jail longer. Safety can only be truly delivered with a commitment from this administration and all of us to take the necessary steps towards finally closing Rikers. This week marks 3 years since the first known COVID-19 related death in New York City. Since then, we have lost nearly 45,000 of our own family, friends, and neighbors. As a city, we will continue to honor their memory and support the critical work of protecting the health and well-being of all New Yorkers. Daddy, I salute and miss you. On Tuesday, we celebrated National Equal Pay Day with the Women's Caucus, Powhern, New York, CWA Local 1180, and advocates. It was an opportunity for us to come together and take stock of the progress we've made to advance pay equity here and across the nation. In New York, for every dollar that a man makes, women earn an average of 74 cents. The disparity is even wider for women of color. Asian American women make 69 cents for every dollar that a white man earns. For Black women, that's 63 cents, and for Latina women, it's 49 cents for every dollar. Women make up 60% of our frontline and municipal workforces, yet the women who keep our city running and many others are not being paid equally for equal work. Last year, we began to make progress with the release of our pay equity report and the subsequent legislative package we passed to address systemic pay disparities and occupational segregation within our own municipal workforce. But we know there is still so much more work to do. I look forward to our work together as a council to advance equal access to opportunity and achieve pay equity for all. On March 25th, the council will kick off participatory budgeting vote week. Through April 2nd, New Yorkers over the age of 11 can vote for their favorite proposals to be funded. This year, a majority of council districts are participating in PB. I'm excited to see all of the projects that New Yorkers created to improve their local park, school, library, or other public spaces. Thank you to all of the council staff who worked on the participatory budgeting. Every New Yorker who has engaged in this process, we thank you as well. This week, the council celebrated Holi, the Hindu festival of colors, with a beautiful event in the council chambers that highlighted the rich culture and contributions of our Hindu community. Thank you, council members Joanne Ariola and Lynn Schulman, for co-hosting this celebration. On Tuesday, the council celebrated Irish culture and heritage right here in the People's House. And as we approach St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, I look forward to marching with you in celebration of our Irish communities. Thank you to the Irish Caucus, including Majority Leader Keith Powers and council members Eric Botcher, Justin Brannon, and Bob Holden for co-hosting our council event, especially for the great corned beef and cabbage. This month, the council will also be hosting a Bangladeshi independence celebration on March 21st and a women's herstory celebration on March 29th. I invite all New Yorkers to join us here in the council chambers as we honor the diverse communities that make up our city's gorgeous mosaic. There are a few more notable days I want to recognize. March 10th was Harriet Tubman Day, in honor of the abolitionist who escaped slavery and helped so many others escape to freedom. She died on this day 110 years ago in 1913. March 23rd is Pakistan Day, which commemorates the adoption of the Lahore Resolution that led to the formation of the nation of Pakistan. I join all Pakistani New Yorkers who celebrate this day of freedom and independence. March 25th is Greek Independence Day, and we join our city's vibrant Greek communities in observance of this important day. And finally, March 22nd will mark the start of Ramadan for our Muslim communities. As our Muslim neighbors fast from sunrise to sundown, I want to extend my best wishes as you observe the blessed month, Ramadan Mubarak. Finally, please join me, colleagues, in wishing a very happy birthday to Council members Chiose on March 18th, Councilmember Lincoln Ressler on the 19th, and Councilmember Natasha Williams on the 29th. I hope you all have a wonderful celebration. I also want to give a shout out today. Joining us here in the People's House is the School Construction Authority MWBE Advanced Mentorship. Students are in the balcony. Welcome again. Now let's move on to our stated agenda. First, we will vote on the following finance items: a transparency resolution approving new designations and changes of certain organizations receiving funding in the expense budget. Next, we'll vote on the following land use items. Otis Elevator Building, 260 11th Avenue, will facilitate a mixed-use office and ground floor retail development expansion that will integrate and interconnect building segments to operate as a single building in Councilmember Botcher's district. 521 East Tremont Avenue rezoning will facilitate the construction of a 14-story mixed-use building with approximately 205 affordable units, including 61 supportive housing units, ground floor commercial and community space, and approximately 14 parking spaces in Councilmember Felice's district. 1880 through 1888 Coney Island rezoning As a result of the applicant having withdrawn this application, the council will be voting to file these land use items to remove them from our calendar. Lastly, we will vote on the following pieces of legislation. Resolution 501B, sponsored by Councilmember Brannan, will call upon the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign legislation that allows for the conversion of commercial house units to residential units and creates the Affordable Housing from Commercial Conversions Tax Benefit Program. Thank you to our staff members, Jose Conde and Audrey Sun. Next, Resolution 167A, sponsored by Councilmember Nurse, calls upon the New York State Legislature to pass and the government to sign legislation expanding New York's 40-year-old container deposit law to include non-carbonated beverages, wine, and liquor. It would double the refundable deposit from 5 cents to 10 cents, further incentivizing the removal of recyclable plastic and glass bottles from New York's waste streams. Thank you to staff member Ricky Chawla. Resolution 515, sponsored by Council members Natasha Williams, Amanda Farias, Shekhar Krishnan, and Shahana Hanif, recognizes the month of Ramadan annually in the city of New York and celebrates the significant role of Muslims in the multicultural fabric of New York City communities. Thank you, staff member Regina Paul. Introduction 210A, sponsored by Councilmember Joanne Ariola and Majority Whip Sylvina Brooks Powers, would help keep our city waterways clean and clear by amending the New York City Charter to create a marine debris disposal and vessel surrendering office. This will make it easier to clear city shores of vessels, often abandoned in the outer boroughs, and environmental justice communities like Jamaica Bay, Coney Island, the Arthur Kill, and the Kill Van Call. Thank you to our staff member Brad Reed. Next, Introduction 876A, sponsored by our Housing and Buildings Committee Chair, Councilmember Sanchez, would amend language in the existing green building law to bring it in line with Local Laws 97 of 2019 and 154 of 2021. Various amendments, including changing certain energy and consumption requirements, updating the definitions section, changing the baseline inflation year, and streamlining administrative and reporting requirements. And we thank our staff member, Audrey Sun. Introduction 124A, sponsored by Councilmember Rafael Salamanca, will ensure that New Yorkers residing in shelters operated by the Department of Homeless Services and the Human Resources Administration have access to housing specialists to help them secure permanent housing. Introduction 431A, also sponsored by Councilmember Salamanca, will require DHS to provide customer service training to all staff members and providers who are working with the public to protect the well-being of people experiencing homelessness. This biannual staff training will include techniques to improve professionalism, increase cultural sensitivity, implement a trauma-enforced approach to interactions with shelter residents, and de-escalation. We thank our staff member, David Romero. Introduction 421A, sponsored by Councilmember Natasha Williams, will require the Administration for Children's Services to post on their website and submit to the Speaker a quarterly report on the amount of time that children spend in the Nicholas Scopetta Children's Center, a temporary residence for children removed from their parents or guardians, and other ACS temporary placement facilities. Currently, there is little publicly available data on the length of stay of children placed in these facilities. And the longer children remain in temporary facilities, the greater likelihood of a negative psychological impact. Advocates have testified that children often spend weeks or even months in temporary placement facilities. Last year, ACS testified that 40 children at the Children's Center have been there for more than 30 days, which was more than half of the total census at the time. This reporting requirement will help the Council to identify trends and make informed recommendations in relation to these temporary placement facilities. Thank you to our staff member, Aminta Kilowan. Next, Introduction 918A, sponsored by our Health Committee Chair, Councilmember Lynn Schulman, would require the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to develop and implement a citywide diabetes incidence and impact reduction plan. DOHMH would be required to report annually on the number of adults with diabetes in New York City, as well as its strategies and efforts to reduce the prevalence and impact of diabetes. Thank you to staff members Christopher Pepe, Sarah Suker, Manhor Boots, and Danielle Glantz. And lastly, we will be voting on a pair of bills that will increase access to resources for our city's youth. This council has prioritized policies and efforts to help our students, and the following legislation builds on our work to open doors of possibilities for young people who represent the future of our communities. Introduction 403A, sponsored by Education Committee Chair Councilmember Rita Joseph, would require the Department of Education to provide information to high school students regarding IDNYC municipal identifications, including information on the program, enrollment, and the application form. IDNYC cards are available to all residents aged 10 and up, regardless of immigration status, and offer access to city services and benefits, as well as our incredible museums, zoos, and other attractions. We thank our staff member, Nadia Jean-Francois. And introduction to 36A, sponsored by our Economic Development Committee Chair, Councilmember Amanda Farias, would codify the New York City Ferry Discount Program to be no greater than half of the regular price fare and expend it to city high school students. This would make students eligible for reduced ferry fare at the beginning of next school year. The current regular fare is $4, and the discounted fare is $1.35. We thank our staff members, Alex Polinoff and William Hongak. Thank you so much for your attention. Now I turn it back into the hands of our Majority Leader.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We're now going to move into the discussion of general orders. We will first hear from Councilmember Lynn Schulman.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Today, I am thrilled that we will be voting on Intro 918A, which will call upon the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to develop and implement a citywide Type 2 diabetes incidence and impact reduction plan to combat diabetes in New York City. This is the first legislation of its kind in New York City and is an ambitious effort to reduce Type 2 diabetes, which is a preventable and reversible chronic disease. Diabetes was considered an underlying health issue that contributed to the devastating outcomes of COVID-19, which is one of the many reasons I am extraordinarily proud of this moment. I want to thank Speaker Adrienne Adams for her leadership on this issue, my many colleagues who signed on as co-sponsors, and a very big thank you to the Health Committee staff for their amazing work in shaping and shepherding this bill. Chris Pepe, Sarah Sucha, Manor Butt, Danielle Glanz, Sarah Liss, Jeff Baker, who I want to thank, who doesn't get thanked that often, Lorene Valentine from the Community Engagement Division, and I want to also thank my wonderful team, particularly Jonathan Boucher, my Chief of Staff, and Kevin McAleer, my Legislative Director. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Amanda Farias.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I have some very exciting news for you all today. That's the last pun, I promise. We are voting on Intro 236A, which will guarantee our students affordable access to our New York City ferry system. Students will soon be able to set sail for just $135, keeping the ferry affordable and accessible for our youngest New Yorkers who rely on it most. The New York City Ferry has created connections for everyday New Yorkers that were never possible before. My district is home to the very first ferry stop in the Bronx and Soundview, which continues to have some of the highest ridership rates citywide. I'm so excited to get this bill passed today and to make transit equity more of a reality for communities like mine in Council District 18 and across the city. Many of my colleagues and I know the struggle of commuting when you're just a kid who's trying to get to and from school on time. Thank you to everyone for helping me lessen the struggle and for prioritizing the needs of our public school students. I want to flag that this is a wonderfully bipartisan bill that I'm really proud of. Shout out to our students from the Harbor School who have joined us in the balcony today. And thank you to my co-prem sponsor, Council Member Stevens, Team NYCDC, my committee staff, and Speaker Adrienne Adams and my colleagues for voting in favor of it today. And lastly, congrats to all of my colleagues on their bills. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Brooks Powers.
Thank you. I am so excited to be co-sponsor on Intro 210 alongside my colleague, Councilmember Joanne Ariola. The city has a responsibility to preserve the safety and beauty of our waterfronts. But as my constituents in the Rockaways know, abandoned vessels and marine debris are not just an eyesore. They are an environmental risk and a danger to community members. That's why this bill is so important. Setting up an Office of Marine Debris Disposal and Vessel Surrendering will empower the administration to address this problem and remove dangerous debris from our shores. We're making a long-term commitment to New Yorkers to remove and dispose of debris and also to prevent this from happening in the first place. We look forward to working with the administration to stand up this office quickly and ensure its effective operation. I thank Councilmember Ariola for her advocacy on this issue, and of course, Speaker Adrienne Adams for her leadership, and my colleagues for their support of this critical legislation. With that, I ask my colleagues to vote aye. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Councilmember Natasha Williams.
Thank you so much. I am also really excited to be passing two measures today. First, Intro 642, which requires ACS to report on data of length of stay of children in the Children's Center. I visited the Children's Center a few weeks ago, and we certainly don't want our children to stay in there longer than they have to. I do know the administration is working really hard to address this issue, as most of the children that stay there typically have extenuating needs. I'm also really excited to be passing Reso 515, which is honoring the month of Ramadan. Ramadan, as many people know, is a month of fasting, worship service, communal gathering, and spiritual development, allowing Muslims to devote themselves to faith and come closer to Allah. It is important to recognize this because for cultural visibility, Muslims are such a fabric of New York City. And I just want to thank Mazeda Udine, who's here from SAFES, for championing this resolution, and encourage all of my colleagues to vote yes on both measures. And thank you, Speaker Adams, for advancing these very important measures.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Feliz.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Our city is going through a well-documented affordable housing crisis, a well-documented crisis that we can resolve by building affordable housing. I'm proud to support the 521 East Tremont project, LU 172 in my district that we're voting on today. Proud to support it because it brings that affordable housing that we desperately need. Nearly 200 affordable units, including units for our seniors. We could never, ever forget about our seniors. But it also does more than that. The property currently has a healthcare facility, and the development will allow the healthcare facility to expand, serve more people, and provide more services. They're going to lease the space, and they're also going to get the opportunity to own it, to purchase it. Affordable housing, expansion of a healthcare facility, and even more than that, the East Tremont region in the Bronx is a region with a lot of needs, and the developer has committed to providing a community space, and also open to selling the space at a below market rate to local youth organization. And we've already started conversations about bringing a baseball league to the space to bring sports, opportunity, and bring some fun baseball for our teenagers and our youth in the region. This is a great project. It's a project that my community is proud to support. I want to thank Community Board 6 for all their input on this. I also want to thank the developer for the many conversations, all which were very productive, and for really listening to the people of the Central Bronx. I also want to thank Speaker Adams for all the support, Land Use Chair Rafael Salamanca, Zoning Chair Kevin Riley for helping make this possible. I encourage all to vote yes on LU 172. It's going to bring housing, it's going to bring sports, and opportunity to East Tremont and the Bronx. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else signed up to speak on general orders? We have Councilmember Ariola.
Thank you. I'd like to wish to a happy St. Patrick's and San Giuseppe feast day, which is upcoming next week, and actually tomorrow is St. Patty's Day. Today, Majority Whip Sylvina Brooks Powers and I are putting forth Intro 210. The health and cleanliness of our waterways from Pelham Bay to Jamaica Bay to New York City's waterways are littered with abandoned vessels and marine debris that are not only unsightly, but they are detrimental to the health of our waterways. Every day, these vessels leak oil and other chemicals into our water, while the debris creates microplastics and other hazards to our sea life. Intro 210, which would create a dedicated Office of Marine Debris Disposal and Vessel Surrendering. Through this creation of that office, we as a city will be able to better plan the removal and, if possible, recycle any debris or vessels left along our shores. Additionally, this office will establish a dedicated location for boat owners to leave unwanted vessels, providing a viable alternative to abandonment. and it will also develop recommendations for enforcement against people who do choose to illegally abandon their boats. This would be a tremendous step forward towards improving the waterways that all New Yorkers enjoy, and we hopefully able to enjoy moving forward. I'd like to thank the Speaker for her leadership, Chair James Gennaro of the Environmental Protection and Resiliency and Waterfronts Committee for shepherding this bill to the floor, as well as the Council's legislative staff, my amazing Chief of Staff, Phyllis Cirillo, for all their hard work. This is a bipartisan bill, so I want to thank all my colleagues who have co-sponsored this bill. And thank you for your time, and I hope that all will join us in voting yes on this bill.
Thank you, Councilmember Ariola. Seeing no one else signed up, we will now move into the report of special committees.
None.
Report of standing committees.
Report of the Committee on Economic Development, Intro 236A, Ferry Service.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Education, Intro 403A, ID NYC Applications.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Environmental Protection, Resiliency, and Waterfronts, Intro 210A, Marine Debris Disposal Office.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Finance, Preconsidered Reso 530, Transparency Resolution.
Coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on General Welfare, Intro 124A, HRA DSS Housing Specialist.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 431A, Shelter Personnel Training.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 642A, Children's Center Reporting.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Health, Intro 918A, Citywide Diabetes Reduction Plan.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Housing and Buildings, Intro 876A, Green Building Standards.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Land Use, LU 168 and Reso 536, and LU 169 and Reso 537, 1888 Coney Island Avenue rezoning.
Coupled to be filed pursuant to letter of withdrawal.
LU 172 and Reso 538 through LU 178 and Reso 540 on page 5, various zoning amendments.
Coupled on general orders.
On the general orders calendar, resolution appointing various persons, Commissioner of Deeds.
Coupled on general orders, I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on all of the items coupled on today's general orders calendar.
Lewis.
Aye on all.
Abreu.
Aye.
Ariola.
I'd like the record to reflect that in the transparency reso, sanitation is being funded and my son works for sanitation. I am aye on all except for Intro 876, for which I am a no.
Aviles.
Aye on all.
Ayala.
Aye on all.
Barron.
I want to disclose that my son works for Brick Arts Media, Brooklyn, as a camera operator. And I want to congratulate my council member from the Bronx for 100% affordability and having sports thing. I want to let y'all know he did challenge me to come play baseball with him. That will be the first defeat he suffers in his life. But I accept the challenge, and it's going to be problematic for you, my brother. But congratulations, and aye on all.
Thank you. Botcher.
Aye and all.
Brannan.
Aye.
Brewer.
Aye on all.
Brooks Powers.
Aye on all.
Caban.
Aye on all.
Carr.
I'd like to disclose on the record that in the transparency resolution, we're funding CUNY, and my husband is a student at CUNY. And with that, I vote no on 876A and aye on the rest.
Thank you. De La Rosa.
Aye on all, and congrats, Oswald.
Dinowitz.
Aye on all.
Farias.
I proudly vote aye on all.
Feliz.
Aye on all.
Gennaro.
Aye.
Gutierrez.
Aye on all.
Hanif.
Aye on all.
Hanks.
Aye on all.
Thank you. Holden.
I'd like to disclose on the record, my son works for CUNY on the transparency reso that we're voting on today, and I vote aye on all except for Intro 876A. Thank you.
Hudson.
Aye on all.
Joseph.
Aye on all.
Kagan.
I would like to disclose for the record that my daughter is a CUNY student and we funding CUNY through transparency resolution, and I vote yes on all.
Krishnan.
Aye on all.
Lee.
Aye on all.
Marte.
Aye on all. Congratulations, Oswald, and congratulations to the students at the Harbor School for all their advocacy.
Thank you. Mealy.
Aye on all.
Menon.
Aye on all.
Narcisse.
Congratulations to CM Mayola and Brooke Powers, because when I go to that ocean to remove those debris, been hard and tough. So I say congratulations to that and to all my colleagues. Aye on all.
Thank you. Nurse.
Aye on all.
Osei.
Aye on all.
Palladino. Wrestler.
Aye on all, and a special congratulations to Amanda on a great bill. Many young people in my community are very happy.
Richardson Jordan.
Aye on all.
Riley.
Aye on all.
Rivera. Salamanca.
Aye on all.
Sanchez.
Aye on all. Congratulations to my colleague, Councilmember Felice.
Schulman.
Aye on all.
Stevens.
Aye on all.
Ung.
Aye on all.
Velasquez.
I'd like to disclose on the record, my brother is a board member at Samaritans of New York, and my husband is a deputy commissioner at DEP. Aye on all.
Vernikov.
Aye on all except 876A and Reso 167.
Williams.
I vote aye on all, and also disclosing for the record that I am a CUNY student.
Juan.
Aye on all.
Yeager.
Aye on all with the exception of introduction 876.
Borelli.
I vote no on 876 and aye on the rest.
Powers.
I vote aye on all.
Speaker Adams.
Congratulations to all of my colleagues who are passing amazing legislation today. I vote aye on all.
Thank you. All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by a vote of 48 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exception of Intro 876A, adopted by a vote of 42 in the affirmative, 6 negative, 0 abstentions. We're going to now move into the discussion of resolutions. I'm going to call on Councilmember Sandy Nurse.
Thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues. Today I'm excited to advance Resolution 167A as part of our ongoing efforts to build a more equitable and sustainable waste management system. This resolution calls upon the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign Senate Bill S-237, also known as the Bigger, Better Bottle Bill. I want to recognize one of my favorite environmental justice groups, the wonderful canning community of Sure We Can. They're up in the balcony. I can't see you all, but I hear you. Over its 40-year history, New York's bottle bill has proven to be a highly effective program to reduce litter and increase recycling rates, not to mention sustaining an entirely underappreciated set of environmental workers known as canners. The city is home to an estimated 10,000 canners, our neighbors who collect cans and bottles from the streets to make a living. In 2020, the bottle bill helped recycle 5.5 billion containers, totaling 242,000 tons at no cost to local governments. All right. Well, thank you all for your support. I hope you all vote aye. Thank you.
You convinced me. Before we move on to voting on the resolutions, I just want to do the introduction and reading of bills.
All bills have been referred to committees as indicated on today's agenda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Anyone else signed up to speak on resolutions?
I am.
Oh, Councilor Hanif.
Thank you. That the body is considering Councilmember Williams' resolution 523 to recognize the holy month of Ramadan annually in our city. As a Muslim city council member from Brooklyn, I'm excited to co-sponsor this resolution. The contributions of Muslim communities are far-reaching, and I'm especially grateful for the contributions of Black Muslims for laying roots for racial justice as integral to our faith work. New York City has the largest Muslim community in the United States, so you can't miss us. It is my hope that with the passage of this resolution, New Yorkers will learn about all the ways Muslims celebrate and strengthen community and spiritual ties during Ramadan, which includes, of course, more than just fasting. I've especially appreciated efforts to write letters to incarcerated Muslims, advocate for a green deen, which is to protect our planet for climate injustices, and strengthen Muslim mutual aid networks. I encourage my colleagues to vote in support. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Ari Kagan.
Thank you. I would like to express my strong opposition to the Resolution 167, which is calling upon New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign legislation that will increase the bottle deposit amount to 10 cents per container from the current 5 cents. So basically, in the time of the very high inflation and rising costs of everything, we are creating additional pain on cash register for all New Yorkers. It will have almost no effect on recycling, so I'm urging everyone to vote no on this resolution 167. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else sign up to speak? Okay. We will now have a voice vote on today's resolutions. If you wish to vote against or abstain from any of today's resolutions, please notify the Legislative Documents Unit by email or approaching the dais before the vote. I'll now read the resolutions into the record. Resolution 167A calls upon the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign Senate Bill 237, legislation to amend the Environmental Conservation Law in relation to returnable bottles. Will all those in favor please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Please come down. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 503B calls upon the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign legislation that allows for the conversion of commercial units to residential units and creates the Affordable Housing from Commercial Conversions Tax Benefit Program. Will all those in favor please say aye? All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 515 recognizes the month of Ramadan annually in the city of New York and celebrates the significant role of Muslims in the multicultural fabric of New York City communities. Will all those in favor please say aye? All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. We will now move into today's general discussion. We'll begin with Councilmember Hanif.
Thank you. I'm proud to introduce Intro 963 today to ban elephant captivity in New York City. I'd like to thank Council Members Abreu, Rivera, Richardson, Jordan, Krishnan, Caban, Aviles, Gutierrez, and Nurse for joining me as co-prime sponsors. This bill sets strict minimum standards for any facility holding elephants, and if they are unable to comply with them, compels the release of the elephants to a suitable sanctuary where their needs can be better met. Scientific studies have shown that elephants are cognitively, emotionally, and socially complex beings who suffer in confinement. In captivity, elephants have been known to experience painful physical ailments, emotional trauma, and brain damage from being unable to roam freely and interact with other elephants as they would in their natural habitats. In 2017, New York State and New York City banned the use of elephants in circuses. Banning elephant captivity builds on those laws and is a natural next step to take. I want to emphasize that I'm introducing this bill with love for the Bronx Zoo, which is a treasured New York City institution that I've been visiting since I was a child. I look forward to engaging with them here. I'm grateful to Voters for Animal Rights and the Non-Human Rights Project for their collaboration and support for this bill. I encourage my colleagues to sign on as sponsors. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll go to Councilmember Barron, followed by Councilmember Carr.
Thank you very much, my colleagues. I just want to bring your attention to this is budget time, And I want to start with the budget from the Democratic President of the United States of America. By the way, it's a $6.8 trillion budget. And guess what? There's $842 billion for the military and only $90 billion for education. The state budget, by the way, there's a $32 trillion state debt, federal debt by 2024, and the state budget is $227 billion, not enough money for, nothing for NYCHA and poor folk. The rich will get richer, the poor will get poorer under this parasitic capitalist system and these budgets. And finally, our local budget, $102.7 billion, not enough for NYCHA education and so many other, mental health. Don't be fooled by the pittance that they give you. It is not enough. And guess what? There's a 10-year, $150 billion capital plan. That's a shame. There should be no poverty in New York State. There should be no homeless having their life gathering up off the streets and put into homeless shelters where they don't have mental health, they don't have permanent plan for permanent homes, and they don't have workforce development. This is a shame. Remember, a budget is a moral document, not just a bunch of numbers. It's a moral document on your political values over your political pragmatism. Vote your heart and deal with our people. Let's not make the same mistake we made last year.
Thank you. We'll now go to Councilmember Carr, followed by Councilmember Narcisse.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I just want to wish to our Irish Caucus colleagues and all New Yorkers a happy St. Patrick's Day, and a particular thank you to the caucus for honoring one of Staten Island's own, Assemblyman Mike Cusick, earlier this week. I also want to wish a happy St. Joseph's Day, Buona Festa, to everyone in New York City, particularly my fellow Italians and all the Joes out there. I know we have many of them in our lives, including our own Minority Leader, Joe Borelli. I hope everybody enjoyed the snacks that we had over in Members Lounge or the Rotunda. We're going to do it again next year, and I want to congratulate our two winners, Tutto Calcio and Lotera Bakery? La Torre Bakery, excuse me. It was a route for Queens this year somehow. Clearly, I did not fix the contest. So congratulations to the two bakeries from Councilmember Palladino and Councilmember Areola's districts, respectively. Thank you so much. Buona Festa.
Thank you, and happy St. Joseph's Day, and thank you for the new tradition here in the City Council from the Italian Caucus. Thanks so much. We're now going to hear from Councilmember Brooks Powers, followed by Councilmember Brewer. Oh, sorry, Councilmember Narcisse, followed by Councilmember Brooks Powers.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Madam Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to put my introduction here and all the staff. As a business owner, it has been very difficult, especially after COVID. So I'm saying 969, y'all, it is important to pass economic growth if you want to help and host a central, this is about to hold a central portal for all New York City community development financial institutions and run an education campaign targeting small businesses and certified MWBEs to show them how helpful CDFIs can be to their growth and to sustain their business. I'm also asking that you join me in 968. That bill will require that the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene develop a professional education program regarding sickle cell disease in consultation with the New York City Health and Hospital Corporation. You know, as a nurse, I'm deep on that one. I'm coming with those help. Sickle cell disease is estimated to occur in 1 out of 500 African Americans. There is no cure for sickle cell right now, but the disease and symptom can be managed with proper care and lifestyle. This program will inform New Yorkers of their health care option and increase awareness. I believe it would be a critical, encouraging our New Yorkers, especially the health field, to talk about sickle cell disease and get prevention care. So my colleagues, I'm asking you in support, so please help me get through this with your vote, so I'm counting on you to support me. This is about our health. This is about our economic machine, which is small business. The rhetoric all the time is the backbone of a community. So thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Brooks Powers, followed by Councilmember Brewer.
Thank you. I wanted to briefly speak about a bill I'm proud to introduce today, Intro 962. As Speaker Adams said in her State of the City, access to public pools and swimming programs must be considered a matter of justice. 1 out of 3 Black students can't swim, while only 1 out of 10 white students cannot. More than a dozen council districts do not contain a public pool. We need to change this, to invest in pools and education and ensure all New Yorkers, especially those in underserved communities, can learn to swim in their neighborhood. This legislation will require the administration identify new location for pools in the city, particularly in environmental justice communities, require the Parks Department to offer swimming programming at city pools, and require parks to develop a plan to make DOE school pools open to the public year-round. I am also sponsoring Resolution 532 alongside Deputy Speaker Ayala, which requests the state to recognize the asylum-seeking crisis as an emergency and increase the flow of funding to the city to address it. The city needs more resources to ensure we can continue to welcome those who need our help to the city, to ensure that everyone who arrives here can do so with dignity and build a life in New York City. Communities like the one I represent have been overwhelmed, but we are not showered with critical resources. We have a duty to asylum seekers and New Yorkers alike. We've worked to help tens of thousands of asylum seekers so far, and we continue to do so as long as they come to New York City. But we need assistance from our state and federal partners to serve newcomers effectively over the long term. I encourage my colleagues to join me on this resolution. I look forward to working with my colleagues on both pieces of legislation. I thank Speaker Adams for her legislation. And I just want to once again underscore this asylum seeker resolution, and I really encourage our colleagues to sign on. Communities like mine are very much saturated with shelters right now, and it's only going to get worse. So while the state is working on their budget, we call on Governor Hochul and our state colleagues to prioritize this as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Brewer, followed by Councilmember Bottcher.
Thank you very much. I have three intros today, 2 of them on the issue of noise, and I know that one of them has to do with sirens. It's a hard issue to attack in terms of making a difference, but I met with the police department, went out in their particular car, and I think this rumbler is one way to go. So we're going to meet with the ambulance, both the H&H and of course fire department, and with the union to see if they are supportive. It's mostly the ambulances that cause the most 311 complaints. The other issue we get complaints about, of course, is the issue of trying to figure out how to deal with the leaf blowers, the gas-powered. I believe there are also electric ones. And it is a hard issue because the Parks Department uses them, supers use them, owners use them, et cetera, but they're incredibly noisy. And again, how many calls can you get to 311? Many. And then finally, 961. The issue there, I'm a big supporter of archives. I don't know if people have gone through that process, but we need the City of New York Municipal Library to have information about the history of New York City. And it turns out that the City Council and other officials, although agencies are part of the social media account archives, elected officials are not. And so the issue would be every year that we would give the information of our social media to the municipal library, and then they would archive it in the proper manner. It needs some tweaking in terms of who actually is going to collect all 51 and make us do the work, but the idea is archive is important. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now you're from Councilmember Bottcher, followed by Councilmember Velasquez.
If you were to walk up to a bunch of New Yorkers on the street right now and ask them what really gets on their nerves when they walk around the city, a lot of them would say the scaffolding that seems like it's on every block We've got over 280 miles of scaffolding in New York City, 4,000 sidewalk scaffolds in New York and Manhattan alone. So today I'm joining a bunch of my colleagues in introducing a package of legislation, my 3 bills. The first would set a time limit of 6 months. When you put up your scaffolding, you've got 6 months to pull your permits to start work. The second bill would update the lighting requirements on sidewalk sheds because they haven't been updated since the advent of LED technology. You can light a sidewalk shed much better and much more ecologically friendly way. So we're upping the number of lumens that would be required. And then thirdly, we're going to increase the standards for scaffolding when it's in a park or a playground. I've got a playground in our district where for years there have been scaffolding covering part of the basketball court because the building there needs to fix, next to it needs to fix their wall. So we're gonna up the standards. So it would have to be high, it would have to be one of the newer models. So these are just a few. I wanna thank all my colleagues, Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine, and all my colleagues for being part of this. New Yorkers have been waiting a long time for these kind of reforms.
Thank you. We'll hear from Councilmember Velasquez, followed by Councilmember Stevens.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Today I'm happy to be introducing 2 new pieces of legislation, a resolution in support of improved environmental and worker protections in the fashion industry, and a bill to help contract workers get permanent job placement. Intro 979 will create an educational campaign for contract workers to inform them and create a better accessibility to full-time positions working at city agencies. I know we all have made complaints about staffing shortages, and making sure that contract workers are aware of the available opportunities that exist not only helps them, but can help our city as a whole. The fashion industry is responsible for up to 8% of global carbon emissions and is responsible for 20% of the estimated 300 million tons of plastic produced annually. Their rate of emission is more than the international airplane travel and the shipping industry combined. The work of many fashion houses lack environmental and worker protections, regulations, and oversight, and allows for bad actors to take advantage of vulnerable populations, including the use of sweatshops, child labor, and outright slavery. The Resolution 535 supports the New York State bill known as Fashion Sustainability and Social Accountability Act, which seeks to address the impacts of the fashion industry by requiring sellers and manufacturers in New York with a worldwide revenue of $100 million or more to be accountable to standardized environmental and social due diligence policies. Noticeably, the bill includes major requirements, including supply chain mapping to show good faith efforts to map 50% of the supply chain, focusing on suppliers with higher social and environmental risks. A social and environmental sustainability report describing what a company does to identify, prevent, and account for outcomes for their work. Also, it provides estimated timelines and benchmarks for improvement, and it discloses environmental and social impacts of their work, including median wages of workers of prioritized supplies and how their wages compare with local minimum and living wages, as well as respecting workers' rights. Legislation like this will not only help New Yorkers, but can see a global impact. Gracias.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Stevens, followed by Councilmember Schulman.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Most folks don't know that DY City has their own set of shelters that they're in their portfolio. And today I have 2 sets of bills that address some of the many issues that our homeless runaway youth face each and every day. Intro 976 is a reporting bill that would track the LGBTQ homeless population for young people. And our second bill, Intro 977, which would help streamline the intake process in drop-in centers. I would also like all of my colleagues to sign on to this bill to show support for a population of young people who are often not seen, heard, or talked about. And so I encourage everyone to sign on to those 2 bills. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Schulman and finally Councilmember Joseph.
Thank you. I'm proud today to introduce a law to amend the Administrative Code of the City of New York to offer free CPR courses, make them available to the public. Approximately 300,000 to 450,000 people die every year from cardiac arrest, and cardiac arrests have increased by 800% in New York City since COVID. CPR can double or triple a person's chance of survival, and I'm very happy to introduce this bill, Intro 975. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we'll hear from Councilmember Joseph.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Today, I introduce Intro 964, which requires the Mayor's Office of Food Policy to develop and implement a plan to prepare a farmers market in the city for use in winter weather. Farmers markets has long been a sign that winter weather is breaking and warmer days are on the horizon, but we must do more to ensure that our communities have access to fresh foods and support mom and pop's farmers. Secondly, I would like to introduce Intro 965 along with my colleague, Councilmember Ressler. Would require the Department of Transportation to increase the pace at which it installs protected bike lanes to 100 miles per year for the next 6 years. 2021 was the deadliest year on the road in New York City. In fact, according to Transportation Alternatives, 124 pedestrians, 50 motorcyclists, 19 cyclists, and 15 people on moped and e-bikes were killed in New York City. This bill is a step in the right direction, and I urge my colleagues to sign on to help keep our neighbors safe. Lastly, I want to introduce Resolution 354 to call upon the state to pass, the governor to sign, is an act that requires MTA to extend the eligible usage hours for students' MetroCard. From now, it's only from 5:30 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. Instead, we would love to move it to 5 a.m. until 10 p.m. While S7492 is an act that prohibits the MTA from penalizing a student from using a MetroCard when school is not in session. As a forever educator, I ask my colleagues to sign on so that we, students from Kings County to Kingsbridge, will be able to get to school and extracurricular activities regardless of the time and free from fear. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now call on Speaker Adrian Adams to close today's stated meeting.
Thank you, Majority Leader. The state of meeting of March 16, 2023 is hereby adjourned.
All right. Boom. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. I gotta go talk to CEOs.